Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you have been working for some of the biggest luxury brands in America for years without ever receiving a paycheck. No contract, no salary, no bonus. Yet every time you step outside wearing a bold designer logo across your chest, you are advertising that company to everyone who sees you. You paid for the product, and then you promoted it for free. Sounds crazy, right? But that is exactly how modern luxury marketing works. The real question is not whether brands use billboards. The question is whether you are the billboard. In the United States, fashion has never just been about clothing. It has always been about identity, status, and social positioning. From high school campuses to corporate boardrooms, what you wear silently communicates where you believe you stand in the hierarchy. Luxury brands understand this better than almost anyone. They do not simply sell fabric stitched together. They sell perception. They sell aspiration. They sell the feeling of being seen as successful. And to achieve that, they developed two powerful strategies: loud luxury and quiet luxury. Loud luxury is instantly recognizable. Large logos, bold prints, signature patterns that can be identified from across the street. When someone wears a heavily branded hoodie or handbag, the message is immediate and obvious. It says, "I can afford this," or at least, "I want you to believe I can." The logo becomes a shortcut for status. No conversation required. The brand speaks on your behalf. From a business perspective, this is brilliant. Traditional advertising costs millions of dollars. Companies pay for highway billboards and television commercials. But when customers wear oversized logos, brands receive constant public exposure at zero additional cost. Every coffee shop visit, every airport walk, every Instagram selfie becomes unpaid promotion. The customer funds the advertisement and distributes it at the same time. That is not accidental. That is strategic design. Quiet luxury operates under a different philosophy. Instead of loud symbols, it focuses on craftsmanship, premium materials, subtle tailoring, and minimal branding. No flashy logos. No screaming patterns. The value is hidden in the details. Only those who understand quality recognize it. Instead of broadcasting wealth to everyone, quiet luxury signals sophistication to a smaller, more informed audience. The message shifts from "look at what I bought" to "if you know, you know." This shift has become increasingly visible in major American cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Miami. Many high-net-worth individuals are moving away from obvious branding. For them, true status is not about public validation. It is about quiet confidence. When wealth becomes secure, the need to prove it often disappears. Ironically, the absence of a logo can become the strongest statement of all. Yet whether you choose loud luxury or quiet luxury, the system still benefits the brand first. Both approaches are carefully engineered to tap into human psychology. One appeals to visibility and recognition. The other appeals to exclusivity and insider knowledge. Both create desire. Both generate demand. And both rely on consumers attaching their identity to a label. So the next time you put on a designer logo, ask yourself a simple question. Are you expressing your personal style? Or are you amplifying a corporation's marketing strategy? Because in the world of modern luxury, the line between consumer and advertisement is thinner than most people realize. To understand how loud luxury took control of American culture, we need to go back to the rise of visible branding in the late 20th century. Luxury was not always loud. Decades ago, high-end fashion focused more on craftsmanship and exclusivity than on obvious logos. Wealth was often discreet. The idea was simple. If you belonged to a certain social class, you did not need to announce it. People already knew. But as consumer culture expanded in the United States during the 1980s and 1990s, something changed. Credit became easier to access. Shopping malls exploded across suburban America. Music videos, Hollywood films, and celebrity culture began influencing everyday fashion choices. Suddenly, status was not just inherited. It could be purchased, and brands realized they could monetize that desire. Visible logos became powerful tools. A clearly displayed designer name allowed consumers to buy into the image of wealth, even if their financial reality did not match it. Instead of proving success through assets or long-term stability, people could signal it instantly through clothing and accessories. The logo became a shortcut to social elevation. Hip-hop culture played a major role in amplifying loud luxury. Rappers and entertainers showcase designer brands as symbols of achievement and resilience. Wearing expensive labels represented overcoming struggle. It was aspirational, bold, and unapologetic. Brands noticed this influence quickly. At the same time, luxury companies discovered a critical marketing insight. The more recognizable the product, the stronger the brand equity. If someone could identify a handbag or sneaker from across the room, that product became a walking advertisement. Recognition built prestige. Prestige justified high prices. High prices reinforced exclusivity. It was a self-sustaining cycle. This strategy worked exceptionally well in the American market because the United States has always celebrated visible success. Big houses, expensive cars, designer outfits. The cultural narrative often equates appearance with achievement. Loud luxury fits perfectly into that mindset. It allows individuals to communicate financial ambition without speaking a single word. But there is another layer to this phenomenon. Social media accelerated everything. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok rewarded visual impact. A large, bold logo performs better on camera than subtle stitching. To truly understand why loud luxury works so effectively, we need to examine human psychology. At the core of consumer behavior lies one powerful force: status signaling. Human beings are social creatures. For thousands of years, survival depended on belonging to a group. Within those groups, hierarchy naturally formed. Clothing has always been one of the fastest ways to communicate status. Long before designer logos existed, people used fabrics, colors, and accessories to signal rank. When you wear a large logo today, your brain is engaging in a subtle social calculation. You anticipate how others will perceive you. The logo reduces uncertainty. Psychologists call this conspicuous consumption. It refers to purchasing goods not only for practical use, but to display wealth or taste publicly. In the United States, conspicuous consumption is deeply tied to the idea of the American dream. Loud luxury becomes proof of progress. But there is also insecurity beneath the surface. When individuals are uncertain about their social standing, they are more likely to use visible markers to reinforce identity. A bold logo acts like armor. Social comparison plays a significant role as well. Seeing others display visible status symbols increases the pressure to keep up. The phenomenon referred to as keeping up with the Joneses becomes magnified. Neurologically, status triggers dopamine responses. When someone receives admiration for what they are wearing, the brain registers reward. That positive reinforcement strengthens the behavior. Luxury brands leverage these psychological mechanisms intentionally. They conduct research on color visibility and logo placement. The goal is not subtlety. The goal is instant association. Quiet luxury did not explode overnight. It evolved gradually, almost silently, beneath the surface of mainstream fashion. While loud luxury dominated billboards, music videos, and social media feeds, a different movement was forming. This shift was not about rejecting luxury altogether. It was about redefining how luxury should look and feel. One major factor behind the rise of quiet luxury is financial maturity. As individuals accumulate long-term wealth rather than short-term income, their relationship with money changes. Flashy displays become less important than durability, comfort, and long-lasting value. Economic events also played a role. After financial downturns, overt displays of wealth can feel socially tone-deaf. Quiet luxury allows wealth to exist without aggressively announcing itself. Younger affluent consumers, particularly high-earning professionals in technology and finance, often prefer understated aesthetics. A tailored cashmere sweater can signal far more sophistication than a loudly branded jacket. Pop culture reinforced this transformation. Television shows portraying powerful characters began styling them in logo-free wardrobes. The message was clear: true power does not need to advertise itself. Social media fashion influencers started educating audiences about fabric blends and stitching quality. This reframing elevated knowledge over logos. Consumers began associating intelligence with minimal branding. Another reason quiet luxury resonates is exclusivity through invisibility. When a garment has no obvious logo, only those familiar with the brand can identify it. It creates a private signal between insiders. From a business perspective, brands recognize that offering logo-heavy products alone could limit their appeal. This dual strategy allows them to capture both aspirational buyers and established clients. Ultimately, the shift toward quiet luxury reflects a broader change in how Americans define success. Increasingly, confidence is expressed through restraint. Wealth is signaled through quality rather than quantity. At first glance, loud luxury and quiet luxury may appear to be opposites competing for dominance. One is bold, visible, and attention-seeking. The other is restrained, subtle, and refined. But in reality, most major fashion houses are not choosing one over the other. They are strategically operating both at the same time. This is not confusion. It is calculated market segmentation. Luxury brands understand that the American consumer market is not one single group. It is layered. There are aspirational buyers who want visibility and recognition. There are established high-net-worth individuals who prefer discretion. By offering both loud and quiet options, brands maximize reach without sacrificing prestige. Think of it as a ladder. Loud luxury often functions as the entry point. Highly visible items, such as logo-heavy belts, sneakers, and handbags, are typically more accessible. They allow middle and upper-middle-class consumers to participate in the luxury ecosystem. Even if someone cannot afford a custom suit, they might afford a recognizable accessory. That accessory becomes a gateway purchase. Once inside the brand's world, consumer loyalty begins forming. Over time, as income rises, preferences may evolve. The same individual who once wanted the biggest logo might transition into more subtle pieces. Brands anticipate this progression. They design product lines that accommodate consumers at different stages of financial growth. From a revenue standpoint, loud luxury often generates higher volume. It sells in larger quantities because recognition drives demand. Visible branding performs well online. Quiet luxury, on the other hand, reinforces brand prestige. It protects the image of exclusivity. While it may sell in lower volume, it typically commands higher price points. This segment strengthens long-term brand equity. The coexistence of both strategies allows brands to maintain aspiration while scaling profit. Loud luxury fuels mass awareness. Quiet luxury sustains elite credibility. Together, they create a balanced ecosystem where the brand benefits from both widespread recognition and high-status perception. There is also a psychological funnel at play. When consumers see loud luxury frequently, they associate the brand with success. Even if they cannot afford it immediately, the exposure builds aspiration. Later, as their financial position improves, they may seek more refined offerings from the same brand. The initial logo purchase plants a seed for future spending. Importantly, this dual strategy also protects brands during economic fluctuations. In strong economic periods, aspirational buyers spend more on visible items. During downturns, affluent clients continue purchasing understated, investment-grade pieces. Diversifying across loud and quiet segments creates financial resilience. However, regardless of which path consumers choose, the underlying system remains similar. Brands shape identity. They influence perception. They design products that align with emotional needs. Whether you are broadcasting a logo or wearing minimalist tailoring, you are participating in a carefully structured narrative about status. Now let's talk about the money. Because behind the psychology, the aesthetics, and the cultural shifts, luxury is ultimately a business. And it is one of the most profitable business models in the world. One of the biggest misconceptions among American consumers is that high price automatically means high production cost. In reality, the markup on many luxury goods is substantial. A handbag that retails for $2,000 may cost only a few $100s to manufacture. The rest of the price covers branding, marketing, distribution, and most importantly, perceived value. Perceived value is the real product being sold. Luxury brands are masters at creating price justification. In economics, this is known as a Veblen good. Demand for a Veblen good can increase as the price increases, because the high price enhances its appeal as a status symbol. A higher price does not always discourage buyers. Sometimes it attracts them. Loud luxury benefits directly from this model. When a logo is clearly visible, observers can estimate its cost. That estimate reinforces the wearer's perceived status. Recognition equals validation. Quiet luxury operates slightly differently, but still relies on premium pricing. Without visible logos, justification shifts toward materials and craftsmanship. The consumer is not paying for visibility alone. They are paying for refinement and subtle superiority. Both strategies rely heavily on storytelling. Heritage stories about European ateliers and decades of craftsmanship create emotional attachment. Consumers feel they are buying into history, not just a product. Another important financial mechanism is controlled scarcity. Luxury brands often destroy unsold inventory rather than discount it heavily. This protects the perception of exclusivity and maintains pricing power. Celebrity influence and influencer partnerships also contribute to pricing strength. When public figures are seen wearing specific brands, demand spikes. The association with fame elevates perceived value instantly. Whether you choose loud or quiet luxury, you are not just paying for materials. You are paying for identity reinforcement. You are paying to participate in a social narrative about success, taste, and belonging. The emotional reward often drives the purchase decision. If loud luxury began dominating through music videos and celebrity culture, social media turned it into a global machine. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube did not just amplify fashion trends. They transformed ordinary consumers into full-time distribution channels for brand exposure. Before social media, luxury visibility was limited to physical spaces. Now, a single outfit post can reach hundreds, thousands, or even millions of viewers within minutes. Every mirror selfie, unboxing video, and get ready with me clip becomes unpaid advertising. Here is what makes this powerful. The content feels personal, not corporate. When a friend posts a photo wearing a designer bag, it feels authentic. When an influencer showcases a luxury haul, it feels aspirational. The line between genuine self-expression and brand promotion becomes almost invisible. Loud luxury thrives in this environment because logos are camera-friendly. A bold symbol is instantly recognizable even on a small phone screen. Viewers scrolling quickly can identify the brand without reading captions. That immediate recognition increases engagement. Higher engagement pushes the content to more feeds. The algorithm rewards visibility, and visibility rewards the brand. Influencers, of course, are sometimes paid. But the majority of luxury exposure online comes from regular consumers who receive nothing in return. They purchase items at full price and proudly display them across digital platforms. Every tag post strengthens brand awareness. Every comment asking, "Where did you get that?" reinforces demand. Luxury companies understand this dynamic deeply. They design products that photograph well. Signature patterns, distinctive hardware, and recognizable silhouettes are not random. They are optimized for instant identification in crowded digital spaces. Even quiet luxury brands adapt by emphasizing textures and aesthetic minimalism that fit curated social feeds. Social proof plays a central role here. When consumers see repeated exposure to a specific brand across different accounts, it creates the impression of popularity and desirability. Psychologically, people assume that if many others value something, it must be worth valuing. This is herd behavior amplified by technology. The speed of trend cycles has also accelerated. A product can go viral within days. Limited edition releases sell out instantly. Resale markets inflate prices further, increasing perceived exclusivity. Scarcity combined with digital hype fuels urgency. Consumers rush to purchase before items disappear. However, this environment also intensifies comparison anxiety. Americans are constantly exposed to curated lifestyles that highlight wealth and consumption. Even financially stable individuals may feel pressure to upgrade their wardrobe to keep pace. The digital landscape subtly shifts the baseline for what looks normal. But whether loud or quiet, the outcome remains similar. Consumers broadcast brand imagery across personal networks. Companies gain massive reach without proportional marketing spend. The modern billboard is no longer on the highway. It is in your pocket. Now that we understand how luxury brands leverage visibility and social media, it's time to examine the financial impact on consumers. Wearing loud luxury isn't just a marketing tool for brands. It also has real consequences for your personal finances. First, let's consider the numbers. Many American consumers spend thousands of dollars annually on visible status items. A single logo hoodie may cost $1,000, a pair of sneakers $800, and a handbag $3,000. For some, these purchases are discretionary. For others, they stretch monthly budgets. The allure of social validation often outweighs rational financial planning. The key psychological driver here is the status payoff. When someone wears a visible logo and receives recognition, compliments, social media likes, or peer acknowledgement, the brain releases dopamine. That rush reinforces the behavior, making future high-end purchases more likely. While brands benefit, consumers risk repeated spending that may not align with long-term wealth goals. Contrast this with quiet luxury. Since subtlety emphasizes craftsmanship over logos, purchases tend to be more intentional. Consumers focus on quality, durability, and timeless design rather than immediate social validation. This approach often results in items that last longer, require fewer replacements, and provide a better value-to-cost ratio over time. In financial terms, quiet luxury can be considered a more sustainable consumption strategy. However, both approaches have a hidden cost, opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on a high-priced luxury item could have been invested in assets like stocks, retirement accounts, or real estate. When the purchase is primarily for signaling status, the immediate emotional return may come at the expense of long-term financial growth. This is particularly relevant in America, where wealth accumulation depends heavily on compounding investments. There's also the psychological phenomenon of keeping up with the Joneses, amplified by social media. When consumers see peers or influencers flaunting luxury items, the perceived need to match or exceed them increases. This can lead to overextension of credit, high-interest debt, or even lifestyle inflation. Loud luxury amplifies these pressures because the visibility is obvious and comparative. Quiet luxury, on the other hand, often aligns better with personal finance discipline. Since the reward comes from personal satisfaction and selective recognition, there is less external pressure to constantly upgrade. Investments in high-quality, understated items may still carry prestige, but don't demand constant replication or social competition. Consumers may find they save more while maintaining status within elite circles. It's also worth noting the role of perceived versus actual value. Loud luxury's premium pricing relies heavily on visibility. Once a logo is everywhere, its status signal can weaken, potentially diminishing the social payoff. Quiet luxury relies on exclusivity and material quality. Over time, the intrinsic value remains high, and items may even appreciate in certain markets, especially limited edition or artisanal pieces. Ultimately, whether you lean toward loud or quiet luxury, awareness is critical. Every luxury purchase should be evaluated not only for social impact, but also for its effect on long-term wealth building. Are you buying to impress others or to genuinely enjoy the craftsmanship? Are these items sustainable investments or short-term dopamine triggers? Understanding these questions is essential for balancing lifestyle and financial health. Luxury consumption in America is not only financial, it is deeply cultural. Both loud and quiet luxury influence how individuals perceive themselves and how society perceives them. These choices carry social weight, shaping identity, relationships, and even career trajectories. Starting with loud luxury, its cultural impact is unmistakable. Bold logos and visible designer patterns communicate immediate wealth and status. In certain circles, wearing a recognizable brand can open doors, literally and figuratively. Colleagues, peers, and even strangers may respond differently to someone signaling financial success. Opportunities for networking, collaboration, and social acceptance can be influenced, often subconsciously, by what one wears. However, loud luxury also comes with cultural baggage. Because it is accessible to a larger audience, visibility is diluted. When too many people display the same logos, the status signal becomes less exclusive. Social observers may perceive flashy displays as performative rather than authentic. In extreme cases, overt branding can backfire, creating impressions of insecurity or overcompensation. The cultural signal is amplified, but it is also scrutinized. Quiet luxury, by contrast, communicates refinement, discretion, and informed taste. Its cultural influence is subtle but powerful. People who understand the nuances, material quality, craftsmanship, and minimalistic design recognize the signals of quiet luxury. These items often confer respect from insiders who are knowledgeable, rather than admiration from the general public. In essence, quiet luxury creates selective social influence, prestige among those who get it. This cultural selectivity has implications for social hierarchies. Loud luxury caters to visibility and mass acknowledgement. Quiet luxury emphasizes discernment and insider knowledge. Both operate as social currencies, but they function differently. Loud luxury can elevate status quickly in public settings. Quiet luxury builds long-term credibility and peer recognition within elite or specialized circles. Media and celebrity culture amplify these cultural dynamics. Celebrities who wear loud luxury on red carpets or in music videos often create aspirational desires. Fans emulate their choices, perpetuating the cycle of visible branding. Social media accelerates this feedback loop, creating viral trends around logos, colors, and recognizable patterns. The cultural narrative is immediate and widespread. Quiet luxury, on the other hand, has been popularized by select influencers, entrepreneurs, and business leaders who prioritize understated sophistication. Their impact is slower, but arguably more enduring. Instead of fleeting viral moments, quiet luxury fosters a cultural movement built on taste, knowledge, and subtle signaling. Over time, this movement changes perceptions of what constitutes true success, redefining luxury beyond logos. The coexistence of both approaches also reflects America's diverse social fabric. Brands strategically maintain both options to remain culturally relevant across these segments. Finally, it's essential to recognize that culture and consumption are mutually reinforcing. The choices people make in fashion signal identity, but they also shape collective norms. As more consumers adopt quiet luxury, what is considered high status evolves. Conversely, loud luxury remains a cultural shorthand for immediate wealth and visibility. Both are active forces in defining American social hierarchies. We've come full circle, from loud luxury's bold logos to quiet luxury's subtle sophistication. The message is clear. You are a participant in a carefully designed marketing system, often without realizing it. Whether you choose flashy branding or understated elegance, your choices are never neutral. Every purchase, every outfit, every social media post amplifies a narrative carefully crafted by luxury brands. In essence, consumers become unpaid billboards. Let's unpack what that means in practice. When you wear a visible logo, you provide free advertising. Every interaction, coffee shop visits, airport lounges, office meetings, or social media posts, exposes the brand to observers. Someone notices the Gucci stripes, the Louis Vuitton monogram, or the Balenciaga sneakers, and their attention is effectively monetized by the company. You paid full price for the item, but the brand receives marketing value without spending an additional dime. Quiet luxury operates differently, but it also shapes perception. Even without logos, premium products communicate wealth, taste, and insider knowledge. Your subtle choices signal to informed observers that you understand quality and sophistication. While not as public as loud luxury, quiet luxury still contributes to brand value. The difference is in the audience. Loud luxury targets mass recognition, while quiet luxury targets an informed elite. Both strategies are profitable for brands, and both rely on the consumer as a signal amplifier. The lesson for American consumers is awareness. Luxury is not inherently negative, but it is designed to influence behavior. Understanding how your purchases are leveraged for branding can change the way you approach spending. Are you buying items for yourself, for social validation, or for a brand's marketing reach? Recognizing this helps you make intentional choices. Financially, it is important to separate identity from investment. Loud luxury often provides immediate social rewards, but its value is mostly symbolic and depreciates over time. Quiet luxury tends to focus on quality and longevity, which can yield better long-term value. Both are expensive, and both carry opportunity costs. Before purchasing, consider whether the item aligns with your financial goals or if it primarily satisfies social psychology impulses. There is also a broader cultural takeaway. Loud luxury demonstrates how visibility can equate to influence, while quiet luxury shows that discretion and knowledge can confer prestige. Understanding this duality can shape personal branding, social interactions, and career strategies. It also explains the evolving landscape of American luxury, one where success is communicated through both spectacle and subtlety. Finally, this exploration underscores a simple truth. Luxury brands are masters of human psychology. They understand aspiration, recognition, peer comparison, and the desire for exclusivity. They design products, narratives, and experiences that maximize brand exposure while reinforcing status hierarchies. And the most remarkable part? They often do this without paying a single customer for the promotion. As a consumer, you have agency. Awareness is your first tool. Consider both the financial and social implications of your purchases. Decide whether you want visibility, subtlety, or a mix. Balance desire with practicality. Whether participating in loud or quiet luxury, remember that each choice is a statement, not just about fashion, but about your relationship with money, status, and influence. In conclusion, the distinction between loud and quiet luxury is more than style, it is strategy. By examining both approaches, understanding psychological drivers, and considering financial impact, American consumers can navigate the world of luxury thoughtfully. You can enjoy fashion, express identity, and maintain financial control without becoming an unpaid billboard for global corporations.